on the launch of the group of mountain partnership. I'm very glad to see you all for the welcome speech. I would like to give a floor to the Mr. Aytmurzaev, Special Representative of the President of the Kyrgyz Republic on mountain issues. Please, Nurlan Aytmurzaevich.
Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, dear Mr. David Forne, on behalf of the President of Kyrgyz Republic, Sadyr Japarov, and in my capacity as a special representative for mountain issues, I'll welcome you on the launch of the Mountain Partnership Negotiation Group under the UNFCCC framework. And this event reflects our common desire to develop a sustainable approach to the management of mountain regions, which play an important role in the global ecosystem. On July 28, 2023, an official letter was received from the Executive Secretary of the UNFCCC, Mr. Simon Steil, informing of the resumption of the group of mountainous landlocked countries and renaming it to the group of mountain partnership. Within the UNFCCC, there are many negotiating groups that protect the interests of certain countries. 197 parties to the UN treaty often unite in groups or blocks to negotiate together, such as the group of 77 and China, the African group, the least development countries, the small island developing states, or the independent alliance of Latin America and the Caribbean. By conducting negotiations on the basis of groups uniting their efforts, the above-mentioned countries were able to achieve results by promoting their interests within the framework of the UNFCCC. This allows countries to draw the attention of the world community to their climate change problems, to strengthen expertise, knowledge sharing, and to receive support from the UNFCCC and its structural organization in adapting to climate change. The efforts of individual mountain countries are also very visible on the sidelines of UNFCCC. For example, Andorra recently promoted the issue of including mountain topics in the agenda of COP28. Kyrgyzstan, Bhutan, and Nepal actively supported Andorra's position. As a result of negotiations with the Office of the Presidency of COP28, an agreement was reached to include mountains topics in the Nairobi working program, as well as to launch a mountain and climate change dialogue subject to the achieved support of other mountain countries. The mountain theme has been successfully integrated into the Nairobi working program, but the date, the launch of the mountain and climate change dialogue has not been announced. I assume that this is due to the lack of support from mountain countries. Moreover, there is absolutely no mention of mountains and glaciers in the preliminary GST draft documents. Our delegations separately and different sessions are trying to include our issue in official documents again and again. What does that say? This only shows that our scattered voices are not heard. How do we get to be heard? How to say so that the problems of our communities living in inaccessible high mountain areas with difficult living conditions are heard here in the refined and elegant sites of the COP28? The answer is very simple. Many other countries have already given a practical answer to it by their example. We have to talk to everyone together in one loud voice. That's why the Mountain Partnership Group was created. The launch of Mountain Partnership Group is an important step forward to our efforts to develop joint strategies to adopt and mitigate climate change in mountain regions. We must unite the efforts of mountain countries to develop and implement concrete measures for sustainable development, supporting local communities and preserving ecosystems. An important element of our meeting today is the creation of a specific action plan of the Mountain Partnership Group aimed at supporting mountain regions in their combating climate challenges. You all know very well that not only life in mountain regions, but also in downstream countries depends on the fate of our glaciers. I call on us to unite our efforts and direct them to the protection of mountain regions in order to ensure sustainability, not only for ourselves, but also for the whole planet. Thank you for your attention, and I am ready to listen to your ideas and suggestions on this important issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As this event is organized by two countries, Kyrgyz Republic and Government of Andorra, now I would like to give a floor to Mr. Fournet, Secretary of State for Energy, Transition, Transportation and Mobility of the Principality of Andorra. Please.
Thank you, the Republic of Kyrgyzstan, for inviting me in this event. Mr. Aitmurzaev, Special Representative, President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Although Andorra is responsible for less than 0.001% of global emissions, we are suffering the effects of climate change today. Mountains communities as ours are facing challenges to promote sustainable development due to the effects of climate change. In the last 50 years, the average temperature in the Pyrenees region, where Andorra is nested, has increased by 0.24 degrees by decade. And in the last 35 years, half of the glaciers of the Pyrenees have disappeared. Climate projections predict that the average thickness of the snow of the Pyrenees may be reduced by 50% in 2050. Climatic variations have severe consequences, not only for local residents, but also for lowland citizens that benefit from mountains ecosystem services. Same impacts apply to social economic activities, therefore putting mountains peoples and their livelihood in extremely vulnerable position. Vulnerability of these territories is really widely identified by the scientific community, along with the recognition that adaptation limits in mountain areas are increasingly evident and close. as indicated by the latest assessment report of the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, the IPCC. Moreover, the adaptation and global climate observing system gaps from mountain regions are still persistent and need to be addressed to improve understanding of climate change, climate-related risk, adaptation limits, and to ensure enhanced delivery of climate services and early warning systems. Regions like ours, often disproportionately affected by adverse impacts of climate change, rely on clear and open communication to effectively address our unique vulnerabilities. By adhering to transparency standards, we set a precedent compelling other parties, especially those with substantial mitigation potentials, to recognize and respond to the urgent climate challenges faced by the most vulnerable. In essence, transparency becomes a catalyst for fostering global collaboration and ensuring that climate actions are impactful. Being transparent allows to be exigent. This is why I am proud to share with you that Andorra has been the first country to submit a biennial transparency report, the BTR, under the NESE transparency framework established by the Paris Agreement. This demonstrates our deep commitment to climate action, despite of our small footprint. We strongly believe that every country has a crucial role to play in achieving the Paris Agreement goals, but deep convictions are not enough to meet the challenge of global warming. For all of this, Andorra has decided to raise its voice to promote mountain regions within the international areas as, among other things, being an active state party of the Mountain Partnership and of its steering committee. Recently, we have been working with the presidency and the secretariat of the UNFCCC together with countries as Nepal or Kyrgyzstan and others with a view to including the item of the agenda of this conference. Following the fruitful discussion, we agreed to finally include the mountain issue in the Nairobi work program. It's a first step, but we must continue advocating for the conservation of our ecosystems by elevating the mountains issues to the global political agenda. Despite their global relevance, mountains still do not receive appropriate attention on international processes. Mountains and fragile ecosystems like ours require more ambitious global and climate action. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, we had initially a program which has been little bit changed. Why? Because during these days, before COP28 and during days of the COP28, there was very active work among representatives of the mountainous countries. I think that Andorra, Bhutan, Nepal, and Kyrgyzstan made a very good job in order to promote our common interest. We were all together working day and night, preparing documents, going to different sessions, and actively promoting our common cause. So that's why I believe that even if this event is initially organized by Andorra and Kyrgyzstan, nevertheless, now after these days of collective work, I absolutely want to give the floor to Bhutan. Please, Bhutan, the floor is yours.
Excellencies of Government of Andorra, Republic of Kyrgyzstan, Government of Nepal, and other ladies and gentlemen. I actually did not come here to speak, standing on a podium, but given the opportunity presented, let me also share my own thoughts and the journey at COP28 to get the momentum and traction mountains required in the center of discussions. We would like to thank the government of Andorra for submitting mountain as an agenda in the COP28, and to the government of Kyrgyzstan for backing Andorra's agenda and giving one more push with the COP presidency. In both cases, Nepal and Bhutan, I think, supported, and we gave our solid support in all shapes and forms. Within the UNFCCC's process, once the COP presidency has asked the government of Andorra that the work of mountain will be included in the Nairobi work program. And then to the government of Kyrgyzstan, the COP presidency assured that along with Nairobi work program, a global dialogue will be launched if the mountain countries come together. Taking cue from that, the Bhutanese government and the Kyrgyzstan, at the opening plenary, we made a strong case that we do require a mountain global dialogue. Following that, Bhutan, again, in our own, we still have not made the national statement, but we participated in a GST high-level adaptation program. In that, we reiterated the need for the dialogue and the discussions in the Nairobi work program. Not only there, I think Nepal also gave us the opportunity of representing our voices in the very high level side event that they promoted, in which the highest level of the multinational process, which is the UN Secretary General, was present. Again, along with all the mountain countries, Bhutan echoed our need for a mountain dialogue, especially considering that the UN Secretary General's visit to Nepal and his recognition that mountains are becoming, and mountains are victim to climate change. Further, the LDC's countries, along with Nepal, had the opportunity to again meet with the UN Secretary General. There again, Bhutan echoed the same sentiments to include mountain, and we requested UN Secretary General to consider, much ahead of the declaration of 2025 as the mountain and glacier year, that to consider mountain countries to convene and have dialogues before 2025. This have been our submission. And yesterday at 5 a.m., when the GST text came out, we quickly searched for the word mountain. To our surprise, we did not see the word mountain. So immediately, again, Andorra, Kyrgyzstan, and Bhutan, we put our heads together and we decided, we tried to get a strategy of how do we now again voice this and get the word mountain included in the GST. First, global stock tests. We could not, so we decided that the three countries will, again, we raise our voice in the joint contact group. Also, we quickly gathered ourselves and we made a submission to include the word mountain in the GST text. This, I would like to believe that is the first entry point. We have to be in the process if we are very serious about, if you want to get the mountain discussions ahead. We need to understand the process and we have to get into the process if we want to get this through the UNFCCC platform. So I think I request, again, countries to ensure that the mountain is reflected in the GST. Following Kyrgyzstan's submission, again, before I came for this meeting, we again made a submission. particularly pointing to the text where mountain should be included. I think mountain deserves so much as ocean ecosystems are important. I think the mountain ecosystems are also very important. To cite an example, for instance, Bhutan, we are 98.8% mountains. Our glaciers are melting at 16 meters in a year. We depend on glaciers, we depend on mountain for our agriculture, for our energy, for our tourism, everything. So we are very, very highly vulnerable. Therefore, we need to get the mountain agenda going strong. Not only that, I think in the Nairobi Work Program, we just cannot let the Nairobi Work Program, which is about knowledge gaps, just take note of that. Through the Nairobi Work Program also, we have to get a dialogue as an outcome of COP28. Thank you for listening to me. You can see the passion of getting mountain to the center of global discussion in the way I present mountain. Thank you so much. Thank you for the platform, by the way.
Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, I'm proud to be an ally with you. Now, I would like to give a floor to another our ally who is also very actively promoting our common interest, and this is Nepal. Please.
Excellencies, Honorable Minister Turganev and of Kyrgyz Republic and the Forne of Andorra and other distinguished guests. It gives me pleasure to put any remark about mountains, I think as anybody from Nepal would do. Given the observed climate change impact in the mountains, which is already vulnerable ecosystem, and it is already having toll on our ecosystem, livelihood, and economy. So for Nepal feels that collective voice of mountain countries is really important. So in this context, Nepal supports the proposed initiative as it aligns with our goals and has potential to yield the outcome that we are aiming for. I also believe that it is a well-considered collaborative initiative that merits our collective efforts. So at this event, I am trying to be very brief, but in the further communications, I think Nepal looks forward to further contribute. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good. So, colleagues, as you know, this group of mountain partnership is open for all mountainous countries. So the idea is to unite ourselves in order to promote our common interest. So that's why we here, I know that Andorra here, Bhutan, Nepal, Kyrgyzstan, but I would like to know maybe some other mountainous countries are here, because I see that some, yes, please. Armenia, very good, very good. Some other countries, please. Zimbabwe, very good. Any other countries? Okay. So then we are 6 countries here, yeah? Good. So let me, please, can you, можно включить этот экран? So the goal of our today's meeting is to elaborate our common further steps, next steps, what we'll do Yeah, so we're uniting what our objectives and how we are going to achieve these objectives. So that's what we plan together to discuss. So that's what it is a draft, but if you are fine with this, we can start to discuss this plan. We prepared this draft together with Andorra. If you have some comments or changes, so this is the right moment to do. So we propose first is appointment of 2 coordinators from each GMP member country. We need some our representatives who will be responsible to keep the contact with each other. Yeah. So I think that this is the first step that we should do. If we give 2 coordinators, that would be good, because if one coordinator is in business trip or on vacation, then another coordinator can replace him. So this is just a suggestion, but maybe you will think that 1 coordinator is enough. I don't know. If you decide that 1 coordinator is enough, that's good. Development and approval of the operational regulations for the GMP. We need some internal regulations that for the moment we don't have. For example, how long the chairmanship should continue. Maybe one country should be a chairman during 6 months or maybe 1 year. That's what we should decide. And not only this, there are other regulations, how one country should become a member of the GMP. For the moment, we have only official requirement of the UNFCCC. And this requirement is sending a letter to the UNFCCC stating that the country wants to become a member of the group. But this is a requirement of UNFCCC. Do we need an internal requirement or not? It's up to us. Yeah. So that's what we have to decide. Other internal regulations also should be elaborated. So the third, formulation and agreement on the common position of the GMP for the pre-COP29. June will come very soon. And we should be prepared for the next COP, for the next pre-COP before. Yeah. So we have to elaborate common position. And that could be one of our tasks. Another task is active participation in pre-COP29. That's also we can elaborate common position and we can coordinate our work during the pre-COP 29. Another task is coordination and execution of, the task number 5, formulation and agreement on the common position or statement for COP29. So that's basically what we're doing now. We are trying to elaborate common position and to bring this common position to the presidency. That we're trying to do these days and night during the COP. But we should long before prepare our position, prepare our statement, and we should come to COP already with elaborated our common position and with our elaborated common statement of the group of mountain partnership. Then for us, it will be easier to bring our statements to the presidency. So that's why we put this task number 5, formulation and agreement on the common position and statement for COP29. Task number 6, coordination and execution of a collaborative site event during COP29. That's, again, an open question for us. Should we have a common site event where we will discuss our common interest, common goals, or maybe we will present to the rest of the community, our position, it's up to us. Yeah, but we should think about this already now, and that's why we suggest to put it into our agenda. And point number 7, active participation during COP29. Yeah, so this COP28, we tried. I think that we made a good try. But if we start to prepare long before, and if we actively participate and promote our position, prepared position during the COP29, I'm sure that results will be much better. This time we were not very well organized. We were not very well coordinated. That's why we should do it for the next COP28, 29, and we should start it now. So that's why we suggest to put it as a task number 7. Yeah. So this is only the suggestion. This is only a draft. If you believe that there is something missing, or maybe something is not necessary, this is the right way to express your opinion. Yeah. So please, dear colleagues, the floor is yours. Можно поднять вот это?
First of all, my congratulations for great efforts. Brilliant plan, but pre-COP is not in June. In June is subsidiary bodies session. It just misprint. It's only misprint. Yeah, so please replace pre-COP May-June as subsidiary bodies session. All countries joined together in Bonn, hope 4 or 6 countries, or even larger. Yes, pre-COP will be somewhere in October or November. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Excuse me. May I ask why you were giving such you were giving such assessment that it is brilliant?
Because actually idea of mountain play, I'm Alexei Kokorin. Now I'm a consultant of CAREC. I'm involved in the given process in all 30 years, from 1993, from the beginning, as an expert of UNFCCC, expert of IPCC, member of Russian delegation, negotiator, then observer in WWF, etc., etc. Now I represent countries' so-called policy coordination group of non-government organization as some public duty in parallel with CAREC. Yeah, actually, in many years, this idea was expressed, but no real result. Therefore, even if this plan and this activity maybe is not absolutely ideal, it's a crucial step forward. And therefore, I think that existence of a plan looks quite reasonable. Already brilliant effort and result in any case. Yeah, of course, it's possible to think more, to specify it, but it's just general plan. General plan, it's institutional plan. Yeah, it looks like absolutely reasonable to agree procedures, formulate main points for subsidiary bodies, because Nairobi Work Program is not in agenda of the given COP, because it's a responsibility of SABSTA, and last SABSTA in June discussed it, and new SABSTA will be just in June in session, not now. So therefore, countries should be prepared to point out in SABSTA session to add mountains and cryosphere expert group in addition to existing 10 expert group of Nairobi program. one more. It's necessary to discuss and participate actively in negotiations on the topic on point of sub-star agenda Nairobi Work Program, which will be in Bonn just in June. And of course, preparations, formulation, common position should be in May. It's absolutely reasonable. Yeah, the focus on June on Nairobi Work Program, because probably Nairobi Work Program will not be in agenda of COP29. It looks like overloading of the COP, but substance is quite enough for decision making. Therefore, I think it's really crucial step forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good. Any other comments, please? Бегим. Можно попросить вас микрофоны? Да. Пожалуйста.
Colleagues, is it work? Yeah. Colleagues, at the outset, I would like to thank Andorra and Kyrgyzstan for organizing this a very valuable event. As a landlocked mountainous country, Armenia is fully supporting the initiative of Andorra to introduce the item in the agenda of the conference, and this initiative by Kyrgyzstan to launch the Mountain Partnership Group. I would like to stress that we stand ready to contribute to both of these initiatives. I think that indeed we need a stronger coordination well ahead of the COP to streamline our common priorities in the agenda of the conference, in the activities of the conference. As a preliminary remark, I see that the program is very valuable. It is very well reasoned. I'd like to add one moment, one aspect in this program. As you are all aware, in the United Nations General Assembly, there is a group of Friends of Mountainous Countries, also initiated by Kyrgyzstan. And Armenia is part of this group of friends, and I believe Andorra too. And we are streamlining since last minimum 3 years the priorities of mountainous countries in the work of the General Assembly, namely its second committee, which is dealing with environmental developmental matters. And I would propose to add in this program also a point about cooperation between mountainous countries, also in other international fora, which would also be very important to create synergy between our interests and priorities within different international frameworks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I have to clarify one thing. Because I think that information didn't reach Armenia. In fact, the group of mountain landlocked countries existed, but it was postponed or put it in pause by Secretariat of UNFCCC because the group was not active. Yeah, and in June of this year, I was in Bonn and I met Secretariat. So we asked them to revive the group, but under the different name. Yeah. So we sent a letter asking that to change the title of the name of the group to Group of Mountain Partnership. Yeah. And we received a letter from the UNFCCC confirming of the revival of the group with the new name, Group of Mountain Partnership, without landlocked countries, without landlocked, Group of Mountain Partnership. And Armenia and Tajikistan are members of the group of landlocked countries. So now as group changed its title, UNFCCC Secretariat asked us to clarify with Armenia and Tajikistan whether they are still members of the new group under the new name, Group of Mountain Partnership. We sent official letter to Armenia in September and to Tajikistan asking them this question, but unfortunately we didn't receive official answer. But now with your statement, it's clear that Armenia is a member of Group of Mountain Partnership. Thank you very much, Armenia, please. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But I just wanted to clarify the issue on the change of the title of the group. Yes. Please, you wanted to intervene. Yes.
Thank you. So my name is Isabella Kojal, and I am the Deputy Director General of the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. We are hosted by the government of Nepal in Kathmandu, and we have 8 countries of the Hindu Kush Himalaya who are members of our governing board. So that's Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, China, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. And we are therefore an intergovernmental organization, and we work to support our 8 countries on all the issues that we all so well know about here with regard to mountains and the enormous challenges of the mountains. So we would really like to congratulate the efforts of Kyrgyzstan and Andorra and Bhutan and Nepal to really try to push the mountain agenda forward at COP28. We also do what we can as a knowledge organization to support this process. We are an observer of the COP. So it's very interesting to hear that this is, as I understand, an official group of the UNFCCC, but which somehow was not so active. That's what I'm understanding. So we also know that the importance of coordination and speaking with a united voice, and that there is obviously strength in the numbers of voices. So I wanted to ask one question, that there is also this unofficial group which is called the Ambition on Melting Ice and Sea Level Rise, which is got co-chaired by Chile and Iceland, and it contains a membership now of about 20 parties, and they are of course working very hard on issues related to cryosphere. But of course, cryosphere goes beyond the mountain glaciers, but also the permafrost, low-lying permafrost, low-lying, low-altitude glaciers, and the Arctic and Antarctic. But I would like to ask, how might we also use the efforts of this unofficial group to also help bolster the efforts that you're trying to take forward here through this official group, as I understand, of the UNFCCC. So that was one question. And of course, the second question is, how can we bolster the support of other mountain countries, especially the developed country, mountainous countries, but also the LDC mountain countries, and that will be really important. How can we ensure that this group that's being proposed can gain a wider engagement? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody want to answer this question? Please.
No, it's not to answer the question, but I think the proposal of the agenda is very good. But the first question we have to ask is how many countries can we attract to this group? And in this sense, I think ICMOT or the FAO Mountain Partnership, I think that they are following this meeting virtually, could help us to make bigger this little small group. So I think the very first step is to increase our group to really being in the capacity to attract other countries with the same vulnerabilities, with the same interest as we have. We can use the group of mountains, the New York group of mountains. There are 30 parties. We can use the 66 parties that are members of the Mountain Partnership, the FAO Mountain Partnership, and we can use, I think, their structures to help us to conduct our negotiations, because one of the things or the problems they have in the past is that they haven't the capacity to interact directly with the COP or the COP presidency, because there are no parties. So now with this group, I think we can create the synergies to generate these mutual interests that they can help us to create issues, to create material to I don't have the word now, to interact with us. They can help in this coordination, and in other hand, we put them in a position that will have a visibility that they didn't have in the past. So I think we can create, in this sense, synergies that will help both parts to attract new countries and to have a visibility from the Secretariat and the new presidencies.
Thank you very much. I think your interaction is very closely related to the second question. Yeah. So in fact, it's the same point: how to increase our group, how to involve more mountainous countries. Yeah. So that's the issue that we should all think about. And I totally agree with you. There are other groups that we can that we can use in order to attract and to spread information about our group of mountain partnership. And I would like to say that today we have here online with us Rosa Laura Romeo, who is the Secretariat. Sorry, I don't remember exact title, but it's something about the Secretariat of Mountain Partnership. Yeah, coordinator. Thank you, coordinator of the Secretariat of Mountain Partnership. And in fact, Rosa Laura helped us a lot. She supported, of course, she supported mountain countries in the framework of her own organization, which was created by Rosa Laura Romeo, but also she supported us during these days when we were promoting the points of mountains into the GST documents. We always felt this support. Thank you very much for all your support. Now I give you the floor. Please, Mrs. Romeo.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your very kind words. Well, indeed, for us working on mountain issues since many years, this COP has been a real turning point. I think this COP is going to really make history because for the very first time, we have seen so much energy, so much commitment to give more space, more relevance to mountains. And of course, this is just another step in our long journey, but I think we have really seen many governments and organizations coming together for this common objective. So yes, I'm Rosa Laura Romeo, and I am the coordinator of the Mountain Partnership Secretariat. And the Mountain Partnership is the only United Nations alliance devoted to support mountain people and ecosystem. It exists since more than 20 years. I would say that all the governments I have heard today are members of the Mountain Partnership, and ICIMOD, of course, as well, is a very active and important pillar of our structure. And the Secretariat is hosted in the Food and Agriculture Organization in Rome. I think we have seen as the mountain agenda has become more and more relevant throughout the years. And this is really thanks to your leadership. We have seen the increased leadership of many important countries like Kyrgyzstan that has always championed the mountain agenda since it requested in 2002 an International Year for Mountains, and then another one in 2022. And other countries like Andorra that has really contributed to promote this international process, organizing last year a ministerial meeting at the COP in Sharm el-Sheikh and leading this request for an agenda item on mountains. And of course, Nepal and Bhutan that are always on our side whenever it comes to political agendas for mountains. And of course, Armenia is also a member of the mountain countries and so on. So I think at this stage, we are really in the process of achieving results. You can, of course, continue to count on our support. We have seen as the Mountain Partnership members have really worked tirelessly to ensure that mountains are flagged are key fragile ecosystems that need to receive more attention in the framework of the COP. The Nairobi Work Programme is a very important program, and we are very pleased that the theme this year was devoted to mountains. This was a result of the request from our members, because a few months ago, when there was a call for themes to be considered by the Nairobi Work Programme, we did encourage our Mountain Partnership members, who are more than 500, as you may know, to submit a request for mountains. So this is why we got a Nairobi Work Programme on mountains this year. So, of course, this group of Mountain Partnership is going to have a very important leading role. You can always count on our support. Of course, we cannot engage in political activities, but we stand ready to support as we can. And as the colleague was saying, there is a group of Friends of Mountain in New York, which is a very active group of countries that is politically supporting the mountain agenda in New York. In the Mountain Partnership, there are 66 governments. And of course, we can mobilize them through our focal points. Often these focal points are not in the same ministry as the head of the delegation to the COP climate change. So this process may need a bit of time to come together, but there are also the countries that are not considered as mountain countries, but are still benefiting from the services and the goods coming from mountain areas, because most of the water that we use, as you of course know very well, is coming from mountains. So I think in this process to increase awareness about the importance of mountains, also other countries that are not necessarily mountainous should be brought into this. So we prepare to celebrate the International Mountain Day on 11th of December. I will arrive in Dubai on the 9th in the evening, and we will have a number of events, including the celebration of the International Mountain Day on the 11th of December in the Food and Agriculture Pavilion at 2 o'clock. I hope to see you there, but I would be very pleased to interact with you and discuss together how we can continue this very important journey and how we can together continue to support our mountains. So thank you very much, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. According to the program, we will give you the floor for the conclusion remarks, but that was not conclusion remarks. Please stay with us. Now I would like to give a floor to Zimbabwe, please.
Your Excellencies, honorable ministers present here, good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeffrey Mukwada. I'm based at the University of the Free State in South Africa, and I'm a mountain researcher focusing primarily on climate change. We have got a big problem in Africa, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of many people from Africa. Mountain environment there are under-researched, yet they are so important to us for two main reasons. The first reason is that this is where we get those ecosystem services and goods that are important for us, whether you are living in the mountain environment themselves or in downstream environments. It does not matter. They are very important. That is the first reason. And the second reason is that many of the climate change-related hazards that affect us stem from mountain environments. And I'm here to lend my supporting voice to this initiative. I would like to thank you all for putting this forward, and we will be coming to join you in large numbers. I'm going back to Africa. I'm going to communicate with other Africans about this particular initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not waste any more time. With no further ado, Chairman, thank you for this opportunity. We'll support you. But please, what we don't have in Africa mainly are resources. One thing that we've been doing is to develop spatial data infrastructure that supports data collection. Because mountain environments, like I said, are under-researched. We don't have, right now, I'm involved in setting up automatic weather stations in the Drakensberg Mountains. And that initiative needs to be expanded into other Southern African countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Zimbabwe, which is also a very mountainous country. So we are very glad that today you are with us. But I would like to ask you to say not we will support you, but to say we will support all together our common interest. Yes, because you are supporting not Kyrgyzstan, you are supporting not Andorra, but we are all together supporting our show me to the watch that the time is up. So very quickly, please let us decide on this plan, yeah, that we demonstrated here on the screen. Можно план еще раз вывести на экран? We didn't put here the decision on the chairmanship, yeah, because for the moment at the UNFCCC, it is written that the chairman of the GMP is Kyrgyz Republic. But we have to decide. It is an open question. Which country is a chairman? So that's why we didn't put this question in the plan. But when according to the plan, we will elaborate our internal rules. And when these internal rules will be established, when we will know how long chairmanship will continue, then we'll one more time come back to this issue, and already with new rules, with new group, with new name, we'll decide who will be a chairman. Is it correct? Yeah, I think that will be fair for everybody. Yeah. So, are you agree with this plan? Okay, that's also good. We can start. You mean to start this program earlier? Okay, okay, we can do this. Right. Totally agree. Totally agree. But that's why today we are all together uniting in order to bring other countries in our group. And we made today the first step. I think that if other countries see that we have been united, if we, 6 already countries, if, seven, no, sorry, six. Andorra, Kyrgyzstan, Bhutan, Nepal, Armenia, Zimbabwe, 6 countries. Good. So please, colleagues, bring more members to the group. Yes. And now, I'm sorry, but something urgent? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, colleagues, please, do you agree with this plan? Yeah, maybe we should vote. Huh? You want to say something? Please. Okay. Okay, so you want to come to this point later? When? Okay, okay. So let's finish on this and we will come back to this point. Yes. So now, according to the program, I would like to give a floor to Rosa Laura Romeo, please, for conclusion remarks.
Well, thank you very much. I think my message was really what I already shared, but I really would like to congratulate all the countries present at this meeting, and in particular Andorra and Kyrgyzstan for their excellent guidance to promote the mountain agenda. It has been a real pleasure to interact with you during these recent months, and I hope that we will continue to work together, because this is a very important objective, and I think we are really close to achieve good results. I really look forward to mobilize more countries with you to ensure that this group can really have a strong voice in the negotiation. And and I will be in Dubai in a few days, so I look forward to meeting you all and continue this discussion. So I just conclude congratulating you all and confirming that you can always count on our support from the Mountain Partnership Secretariat support for this very, very important initiative. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comments, and thank you very much for all your support that you made during this not only days but months. Thank you, dear colleagues. I thank you, Andorra. I thank you, Bhutan. I thank you, Nepal, for all these activities that you are doing and for being alive with you. Personally, I liked these days very much because these days I felt a union. I felt that we were all together doing one cause, and this feeling is something very good. I liked it. Thank you very much. Let's keep contacts and see you together.